Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I don't even know how to set up my thing. Okay, here we go. How y'all doing? What an amazing game. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Make sure y'all check in and let me know where y'all are coming in from. Make sure y'all check in and let me know where y'all are coming in from. And we're going to get into this live. I'm not going to be on here too long, but we're going to get into it. Dallas, Texas, baby. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Charlotte. Trinidad in the house. We got Utah in the house. I see you. Shout out to the Philippines. Shout out to Brooklyn. Hell of a game. Hell of a game. As I told y'all, man, I thought we were going to have a very fun series. Shout out to Miami. We got Belgium in the house. Shout out to Atlanta. Phoenix. Where else we got? Jordan. We got Virginia. Orlando, Florida was good. Shout out to you. Dallas, of course. Shout out to Dallas. LA. Italy. Shout out to Italy. Where else we got? San Diego. South Carolina, NYC, Guyana. Let's give it like another minute or so. Let's get these likes up. Let's try to get these likes up to 100 likes real quick. Shout out to Israel, Sacramento, Dominican Republic. What else we got? Fort Worth. Shout out to y'all, man. Northview, Toronto, Barbados. Shout out to Watts. Memphis in the house. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Barbados. Shout out to Ghana. Let's give it like another 30 seconds. Let's allow everybody catch up to the live. Also, thank God y'all are reminding me. Let me pin this to the top. We also got our podcast pinned to the top. If you guys are not following the Dreamers Row podcast, we got that pin there. What else we got? Dallas, Greece. I saw we got a lot of people from Dallas. Shout out to Michigan. Let's give it like another 30 seconds, and we're going to get into this live. Another 30 seconds, and let's get these likes up. Let's try to get these likes up to 100 likes. Shout out to Roll. I don't know if I'm saying the right Roland, but shout out to you. Okay, Ohio, Nigeria. Shout out to you. Where else we got? Somebody said Jupiter. Houston. Shout out to Belize. Slovenia. Watch party from Slovenia. I can understand. Crenshaw. Shout out to Crenshaw. Philly. Okay, let's give it 10 more seconds. Let's get these likes up. We're going to get into it. Shout out to Ghana. Switzerland. Chicago. Fort Worth. Shout out to Silver Spring, Maryland, Austin, Gaza, College Station, and Atlanta. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to DC, of course, Montana, Jamaica, Boston. I see all of y'all. Uruguay, Chile. I see y'all. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into this. First of all, I want to say this was a very, very enjoyable game for me. Going into this series, I thought that this was going to be easily one of the most entertaining series we have seen in a very long time. Although right now the Dallas Mavericks are up 3-0, I think it has been a very, very interesting series. If in game 2, Kyrie Irving gets called for that foul instead of the turnover because they couldn't review the foul except the out of bounds play, all of a sudden, maybe it's a different series. Maybe it's what is it? It's 1-1. Who knows? Right? Then we come into this game. It's a very, very close game. It's not like as if, it's like it goes down to the wire. And then all of a sudden, the Dallas Mavericks heavy hitters in Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic just bring the game home. I want to get into this game real quick because there's a lot of stuff. Let me pull up the box score. Let me pull up the box score right here. All right, let me just get the box score ready. Okay, good. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of this game. Okay. First of all, the Dallas Mavericks in this game, I was hearing before the game that Luka Doncic was going to be questionable coming into this series, coming into game 3. I even heard Charles Barkley saying that they should think about bringing him in for for game 4. And when they started the game and I saw Luka Doncic in that game, the first thing that came to my mind was Luka probably said to himself, hold up a second. This is the same Minnesota Timberwolves team that won the first 2 games. That won 3 games in Denver last series, which means that this team is fully capable of getting a win on our home court. And the minute they get some confidence, all of a sudden you got a dogfight on your hand. And Minnesota is one of those teams that you don't want to give any confidence. And I think that Luka Doncic said to himself, we need to find a way to put these guys away right now. And that is exactly the mentality that they came home with. The Dallas Mavericks right now are playing like a championship team. They execute on a championship level. They're coached on a championship level. They play defense on a championship level. And they have all the key ingredients to win a championship and having star players that understand their roles and understand their hierarchy. Y'all know I'm a Clippers supporter. But you know the Clippers, one of the issues it's everybody's turn. It could be James Harden's night. It could be Kyrie. It could be the Kawhi Leonard's night. It could be Paul George's night. It could be Russell Westbrook's night. If you guys paid attention to that game in that fourth quarter, with about 4 minutes left to go, 4 to 5 minutes left to go, who had the ball in his hand making decisions time after time after time? It was Luka Doncic. It was Luka Doncic, and they were running that entire offense through Luka. Because the Dallas Mavericks understand this is the best player that we have. This is the best playmaker that we have. So we're going to run the offense through him. At no point in time, if you paid attention to that game in the fourth quarter, at no point in time did you see Luka standing on the corner. At no point in time. Luka brought the ball up every single time, and he made the decision on whether or not to pass or to shoot. Now, obviously, Jason Kidd, who we got to give a lot of credit to. We got to give a lot of credit to Jason Kidd. Because as a coach, Jason Kidd is doing his thing. He is. Jason Kidd is coaching the hell out of the Dallas Mavericks. He doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't have a lot of sound bites in post-game interviews, but he is doing a hell of a job coaching the Dallas Mavericks. And it's one of the reasons now that, in my personal view, the Dallas Mavericks are on their way to the finals, because there ain't no way Minnesota coming back from 0-3. There is no way they're coming back from 0-3. And in my personal opinion right now, I believe that the Dallas Mavericks, I'm saying it right now, the Dallas Mavericks are going to win this entire thing. The Dallas Mavericks are going to win this entire thing. I think it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap. No team in NBA history has ever come back from an 0-3 deficit. No team. So this series is over. Finito. Finished. It's finished. Hey, guys, let's try to get these likes up to 200 likes. We appreciate that, guys. 250 likes. This series is over. It is absolutely over. Ain't no way in hell Minnesota going to come back. And let's get into the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let me look at the box score. I'm looking at this game. Jaden McDaniels had 15 points. But apart from his 15 points, what was more important? What was more important than his 15 points was his 5 fouls. Luka Doncic. Because people were laughing. You see, people were laughing at the Clippers. People were laughing at Kawhi Leonard. People were laughing at Paul George. People were laughing at them like, they can't guard Luka. I thought they got some great defenders. They can't guard Luka. And I'm sitting here looking at these people, and I'm like, who can guard Luka? People were watching that Denver Nuggets series, looking at what Anthony Edwards was doing to Jamal Murray and these guys and Aaron Gordon, and they thought that, well, look how well they're playing defense. They're going to do it to the Dallas Mavericks. No, they're not. No, they're not. The fact of the matter is, the Minnesota Timberwolves do not have the personnel to guard Luka Doncic in his pick and roll or in his isolations. They have nobody. Nobody. Because if Luka gets a switch, he's either going to get switched on a big, who he's going to hit a game winner over. If he gets switched on a guard or a small forward, he has enough size and strength to back you down and get whatever shot. And if you put your body into him, he's crafty enough to draw fouls. Hence the reason Jaden McDaniel got 5 fouls. If you try to put Anthony Edwards on him, he's too small. And if you trap him, he's going to make the right read. Let's look at Luka's stat line because this is the third straight 30-point game Luka Doncic has. Luka finished that game with 33 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists on 50% shooting from the field, 45% shooting from the three, 80% shooting from the free throw line, and he only had 3 turnovers. Oh, that's it. I want to spend some time talking about Luka Doncic. Thank you guys for being a part of this live. I want to spend some time talking about Luka because Luka, over the last 2 to 3 seasons, has gotten lost in the sauce. In the last 2 or 3 seasons, we spent more time talking about Nikola Jokic, about Joel Embiid, about SGA, and now as of recent, Anthony Edwards. But just 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of people were speculating that Luka Doncic was going to take over the NBA. That's what people were speculating about. But as it turned out, Luka never really had a legitimate second running mate like he does in Kyrie Irving. And what I think Kyrie Irving has done is, given Kyrie Irving's skill set, the fact that he's a playmaker, which is very important. He's not just another guy. He's another guy that can make plays and take pressure off of Luka. And I think the presence of Kyrie Irving has unlocked Luka's all-around game. As somebody that followed the Dallas Mavericks in round 1 versus the Clippers, what I noticed about Luka was Luka Doncic is playing way better defense. Luka Doncic is actually playing defense. Luka is playing defense. That's not been something synonymous with Luka Doncic for the majority of his career. And as it turns out, Luka said the reason I have more energy to play defense is because the offense is not always relying upon me to score. So Luka's now showed you he can be a pretty good defender. He's not going to be an all-first NBA team defender, but he's a good defender. Luka is also, I believe, taking his playmaking to another level, and he's also showing the ability to play with another high-level scorer. And I think that if Luka Doncic wins this championship, which I think he will, and the answer is very simple. There are 2 reasons I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to win the championship. 2 reasons. Can the Timberwolves at least get gentlemen swept? Yes, I think they can. Appreciate you, Alonzo White. Let's try to get these likes up to 300 likes, guys. Appreciate you and appreciate your super chat. There are 2 reasons why I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to beat the Boston Celtics. Number 1, I trust Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic more than I trust Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's number 1. The 2 stars of the Mavs, I have more confidence in them than I do the 2 stars of the Boston Celtics. I personally believe that the 2 stars of the Mavs are they have a higher IQ in terms of basketball players. Number 2, I believe that they're more clutch. Appreciate you. Appreciate your super chat. Let me see. I think there are 2. I'm not sure what you said, but I appreciate the super chat. I'm Yatu Sabes. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, I appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the show. And thank you guys. Thank you for watching the show. I appreciate it. Maybe y'all can translate what that means. I'm not 100% sure what that means. Maybe y'all can translate for me. I'm not sure. Okay. Appreciate it. Okay. Thank you. It said it means you know it, brother. Hey, appreciate you. Anyway. Could have been upset the Mavs. Probably if Kawhi was healthy. But right now, I don't want to talk about Kawhi Leonard right now. Let's talk about what's relevant, and let's talk about this team right here. Anyway, let me get back to this. So I trust the Dallas Mavericks stars more. And number 2, I trust the Dallas Mavericks coaching more than I trust the coaching of Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla seems so dogmatic and stuck in his ways that Joe Mazzulla can shoot 150 threes in a game because he's just playing the numbers. And I think Joe Mazzulla is so addicted to that philosophy of how he thinks a team should score in the offense that he's unwilling to make adjustment at times. So I don't trust Joe Mazzulla, and I don't trust Jason Tatum, and I don't trust Jaylen Brown. I don't trust those guys. I really don't. And if the Mavs go to the finals, which they will, and Boston goes to the finals, which they will, I'm going to put my money on the Mavs, in my personal opinion. That's what I want to say about Luka. Let's get to Kyrie Irving. Many people have been messaging me saying, hey, man, why don't you call out Stephen A. Smith for what he said about Kyrie Irving? Why don't you call out the people that said Kyrie Irving should retire? Why don't you call these people out? And I just haven't had any time to talk about it. And Stephen A. Smith hasn't said anything new, really. Appreciate you for life. Kyrie's much better without LeBron on his team. Appreciate you. I'm going to get to that in a second. But I want to talk about Kyrie Irving. And I think that we have to give a lot of props and credit to Kyrie Irving because he deserves it. Kyrie Irving deserves a lot of credit right now for a lot of things. If we think about all of the things that Kyrie Irving has gone through in the last 2.5 years, I'm not sure another NBA player can just simply come back from that. Kyrie Irving went from being part of the COVID conversation and what happened in Brooklyn because he had his position on not taking the vaccine, which is his 100% right. I have nothing against Kyrie Irving for not wanting to take the vaccine, nor do I have anything against the people that decided to. Not here to judge you. It is your free will. I believe in people's free will and autonomy. You can do whatever the hell you want to do, and it's not my job to judge you, as long as you're not being forced against your will. But a lot of people got upset with Kyrie, and I got on Kyrie at times for some of the things that he said. And a lot of people felt like Kyrie was the reason, or at least the genesis of the Brooklyn Nets falling apart. You have that situation. James Harden leaves the Brooklyn Nets, if I'm not mistaken, right? If I got that right. Then Kyrie Irving puts out those infamous tweets, which starts this huge conversation, not only in the sports media space, but also in news spaces and sports and culture all over the place. His team owner, Joe Mazzulla, throws him out to the Wolves. They suspend him indefinitely, what it seemed like. And he had to go through sensitivity training. They fined him $500,000. And Kyrie Irving was being essentially flogged all throughout the media. And everybody was saying that Kyrie Irving is a problem child. And a lot of people have also been saying, what would Kyrie Irving be without LeBron James? This is a fact. A lot of people are saying Kyrie Irving has not been relevant since LeBron James. What has Kyrie Irving been able to do since LeBron James? I personally believe that Kyrie Irving is on his own personal journey, the same way Kobe was on his journey to prove that he could be successful without Shaq. I believe Kyrie Irving right now is on his own personal journey to, number one, show people that if I'm put in the right situation where people support me, and they're not backbiting and talking behind my back and grunting to the media and saying this, I don't have an owner that's going to throw me to the wolves and all of this stuff. That if I'm put in a situation where I can play basketball, where people are sincere, I can exhibit my talents to the world. And that is exactly what Kyrie Irving has done. Kyrie Irving is proving everybody wrong. Number one, that he's a team cancer. He's disproven whatever it is, that moniker or whatever the hell it is they've been saying about him. Number two, he's also proven that he can have success without LeBron James. He's also proven that. And he's also proving that he can bounce back even after being let go by Nike. Let's not forget that as well. Nike dropped Kyrie Irving. Phil Knight, the former CEO and founder of Nike, said they want no parts of Kyrie Irving. He went out there, got a shoe deal, I think, with the company Antenna or whatever it is. And now they're showing his shoes all over the world, all over these games. Let me get to this comment. Luka and Kyrie are dangerous closers. That will never be part of the stat sheet, almost as if Kobe and Wade were on the same team. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the problem is both of these guys present a different set of challenges for defense in terms of the personnel that you would need to defend them. The person that you would need to defend a Luka is different than the person you would need to defend a Kyrie. Because if you put somebody much bigger than Kyrie, he's going to get around you. He's going to embarrass you. He's going to have you on skates. But if you put somebody, that same person on Luka, it's just not going to work. The fact is, they don't have anybody to stop those guys. And the lob threat that the Dallas Mavericks possess, that lob threat. Let me get to these guys real quick. Who are their players? It was Gafford. What's the other guy that got injured? What's the guy that got injured and come back in the game? The guy with the afro, with the curly afro. I forgot his name. Let me see. He didn't play a lot of minutes. Was it Gafford? There's another guy that got injured. There was a guy that had the headband. Lively, exactly. Lively. He only played, 9.5 minutes. Those two guys present a serious lob threat that even if you trap them or if you get them in a switch, they're rolling to the basket. So the Dallas Mavericks are a very difficult team to guard. Let me get to this comment. Somebody said, wanted to ask your thoughts on Jason Kidd as a head coach, because to me, it seems like ever since Kyrie got there, it seems like Kyrie is Kyrie of old. Well, first of all, appreciate the comment. Who's that from again? I know this is a viewer that we got on the channel, Sheldon Jackson. Shout out to you, Sheldon. First of all, I think coaching also comes down to the person, who you are as a person. And if you look at Jason Kidd is a former point guard. He's a former NBA champion. And I think that he can relate to a Kyrie Irving on a level that maybe other players or other coaches can't. Other players, coaches, or whatever, they just can't. And I think that probably Jason Kidd has been able to get to Kyrie Irving in ways that other people can't. If you notice, the respect that Kyrie Irving seems to have for Jason Kidd is a little bit different than the respect he had for Steve Nash. Because remember, those Brooklyn Nets, the trio, they didn't respect Steve Nash. They didn't respect Steve Nash. But they do. But Kyrie does respect Jason Kidd, and you have to. Because Jason Kidd is one of the greatest point guards of all time, one of the greatest passers of all time, one of the greatest rebounding guards of all time, great defender. And he's somebody that literally revolutionized his game towards the end of his career, where Jason Kidd couldn't really shoot. And then he turned into a great spot-up shooter, a reliable three-point shooter for the Dallas Mavericks. You also got to give some credit to Mark Cuban. Let's talk about Mark Cuban for a second. We got to give some credit to Mark Cuban. Because had it been another owner or previous owner, whatever it was, they would have stayed away from Kyrie. If you listen to the way that Kyrie Irving was being portrayed in the media and how Joe Mazzulla and those guys were treating him, you would have thought he was a locker room cancer. And ever since he's got into Dallas, Luka Doncic has had no problems with him whatsoever. So to me, man, shout out to Kyrie and those guys. Let's get to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. We're not gonna keep you guys for too long. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes to 450 likes. Let's get to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm looking at the box score here. Michael Conley has 16. That's pretty much what you can expect from him. Naz Reid has been one of the most consistent players for this team. Although he comes off of the bench, he's been consistent. He's been one of their best players. Jaden McDaniels has been great. I think he's given you all that he can give you for his position and the amount of shots that he's taken. I think the two biggest letdowns for the Minnesota Timberwolves right now are Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards simply have not been good enough. Now, I know Anthony Edwards said he's going to shoot at least 25 times, and that he did. The problem was Anthony Edwards he scored 26 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. The problem was he scored 26 points on 24 shots. 26 points on 24 shots, that's not very efficient. But it gets even worse with Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns finished that game in 38 minutes with 14 points, 11 rebounds on 27.8% shooting from the field. Only had 4 free throws, and he had 2 personal fouls. Although Anthony Edwards had 9 assists, he had 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. So what I think is the following. I think Anthony Edwards, I'm not 100% sure he is ready for this moment. I think that the media wants him to be ready for this moment. I think some of his fans want him to be ready for this moment. I think his mouth is ready for this moment, but his game is not. That's why I stand on it. I think the media wants him to be ready. I think his trash talking, his mouth wants him to be ready, but I don't think his game is ready. And I think that somebody said, Paul, I think that Anthony Edwards, after this series is over, because they're going to lose, I think that Anthony Edwards will probably be better suited to go back after this series is over and reflect and not talk so much. Now, I know it's hard because you're a young guy, you're confident, your team is doing well, so you expect your team to keep doing well. But the problem is when you constantly talk, you got to back it up. And the more you talk and the more you don't back it up, it creates even more pressure for you. Anthony Edwards said he wanted Kyrie Irving. That's not been working out well for him. Kyrie Irving scored yet again another 30. Kyrie finished that game with 33 points. The fact of the matter is he should have never said nothing about Kyrie. That's the fact of the matter. He should have gone in there and handled his business. You think when NBA players go out there and say, oh, I got this dude, I'm going to shut this dude down, you think they don't be hearing? You think that don't motivate them? So why would you want to poke the bear? Why would you want to go out there and say, oh, I got Kyrie, I got him, I'm a lock? Why would you want to do that? Kyrie Irving is a bad boy, as y'all can see. Kyrie has been better than Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has been the 3rd best player in this series. The third. So when you talk that much, you put pressure on yourself to back it up. And the moment you don't, this is what happens. Did he have a better game today? Yes, but it doesn't matter. Because they're still going to lose. And in terms of the Dallas Mavericks, Dallas has absolutely impressed me. I did not see the Dallas Mavericks. I knew Dallas was going to be tough. I didn't pay much attention to them after the trade deadline because they weren't a team that I followed. But those trades that they made with PJ Washington and what's the other guy? Let me get his name right. Lively and Gafford and all of these guys have totally transformed this team. Totally transformed this team. And it's been one of the weirdest playoff runs. Because you have the Denver Nuggets, who beat the Lakers in 5. They go play against Minnesota. They lose in 7. And then you have the same Minnesota Timberwolves who are on the brink of losing in 4 or 5. So what does that say about them, about Dallas? Okay, they didn't trade for Lively. I didn't know that. I wasn't following them so well. Appreciate the correction. I didn't know that. Appreciate that. So to me, man, this is a very big win for the Dallas Mavericks. If there are any Dallas Mavericks fans watching this, I think your team is going to the final. Well, they are going to go to the finals. I don't see them losing this series at all. And I think that the Dallas Mavericks are about to hang up. I think this will be their second championship. I think the Dirk Nowitzki one was the first one, right? Yeah, that was the first one. I think they're about to win their second championship. And I think that this championship is going to work wonders for Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic's standing all time. I think is going to give him a lot of momentum to win the regular season MVP next year. Because Joel Embiid, that's over with. I don't see Joel Embiid winning next year. I don't care. I don't see that happening. Even if you put up all kind of gaudy numbers, because it's going to be hard to go. It's going to be hard if Luka wins the momentum that he has and now go give it to somebody else. I really doubt that. And I think Kyrie Irving is going to pick up his second NBA championship. And I still believe that Kyrie Irving should have made that top 75 team before Anthony Davis. I think it's a travesty that Anthony Davis is on the top 75 team and Kyrie Irving is not. I really think it is. I think Kyrie is one of the top 75 players of all time, period. I don't care who you got to remove. Kyrie Irving needs to be on that list. He just really needs to be. He may not have all of those accolades and all of that stuff, but when you watch him as a basketball player, Kyrie Irving is one of the most gifted, most talented, most clutch NBA players in the history of basketball. It is a fact. It is a fact. So shout out to Kyrie Irving. Shout out to Luka Doncic. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks fans. This win is for y'all. Y'all definitely earned it. And I think that this series is over. I don't know how many games is going to be over in, but I think it's over. So once again, guys, thank you guys for being a part of this live. Also, if you're not following the Dream is Pro podcast, make sure y'all follow me there. Follow us there, excuse me. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me on Instagram. We have that pin there. Also, guys, we're trying to hit 200,000 subs by the end of the month. If you're not subbed to the channel, please make sure you go ahead and do that. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Dallas, Texas. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Thank you guys for being a part of this. Y'all have a good one and have a great week ahead. Have a good one. Peace.